Shabbat, Shabbat, Adonai, Shema Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Ahad. Welcome to another broadcast of the Six Exodus program. This is the sixth time that God's people will be returning back to Israel, and we are almost there, almost going home, y'all. Almost going home. This segment here is called God Can Use a Raven. It's something that the Lord put in my spirit. I want to tell you something about a woman I want to introduce you to. Her name is Chokmah, but it's spelled Chokmoh. I want to tell you about her. The name of this segment is God Can Use a Raven. A raven, that means a bird, a black bird, which is a carnivorous bird. Out of many men on the earth, God has chosen one leader. Out of all the trees of the earth, God has chosen one vine. Out of all the flowers on the earth, God has chosen one lily. Out of all the cities in the world, God has chosen one city, Jerusalem. Out of all the people and the races of the world, God has chosen one people, black Hebrews, Israelites. And of all the birds in the world, God has chosen a dove, but God can use a raven. I say all those things to say this, is that God choose one of everything. He just chooses one. He's not greedy. He don't want everything for himself. He shares. And he's polite. He's gentle, compassionate, empathetic. He's acquainted with our griefs. He knows our ups and our downs. And God chooses only one thing that he desires. But I wrote this little thing right here because God can use a raven. I want to share something with you. Out of all the things that God chooses, he used something else, or he can use something else. For example, God chose, he has a people, the nation of Israel, us black people, even though our identity has been hid from us by the Catholic Church, the Khazarians, and the United States. Let me tell you something. Man, I need to talk about that. Man, I'm going to squeeze that in here right now. I want to tell you something. There's a book that I read a few years ago. It's called The White Image. The Black Image. It's called The Black Image in a White Mind. I wish I had my notes. The Black Image in a White Mind is by George M. Fredrickson. And that book is a very good book to read. When I read this book, I learned a lot about early colonialism and how white people think about black people in the beginning of America. There's a man who have a lot of he was a political my mind just went blank. His name is Alexis de Tocqueville. Alexis de Tocqueville was a Frenchman. He's a philosopher. He's a philosopher, a political philosopher. Yeah, that's the word I want to say. He's a political philosopher, and he is one of the greatest political philosophers there has ever been. It's in America and in France and England, because he traveled extensively and he did homework researches on different countries, especially here in America. When America first wanted to bring slaves to America. He came to America and visit America and talked to early colonials about why did you want these slaves. He questioned white Americans, why do you want to make these people your slaves? He said, out of all the people in the world, he said, why these slaves? Why you want to make these people your slaves out of all people? And I tell you, it's very, very, very interesting why Alexis de Tocqueville asked American people why you want to use these slaves. It's because of the desire to suppress Hebrews. And let me tell you, even your president, the one that you voted for, President Obama, he know that black people are Hebrews and say nothing about it. And you voted for him. I didn't vote for him. I'm not going to vote for nobody who is against God and who do not worship God. And he is not a black man. He's not a Hebrew. He's a black man. He's an African. He's from Kenya. Because there's no Hebrew will talk about his God the way this president talks about the God of Israel. No man would talk about his God and put his God down and ridicule his God and make shame his God. No Hebrew would ever do nothing like that. No Hebrew. Let me tell you, Barack Obama, listen to me. You are not a Hebrew because you stand, I heard you many times stand up, even said these words, that America is not a Christian country anymore. And my name is Yeshurun. You can come and see me anytime, Mr. President. I'll be glad to talk to you anytime. But no Hebrew will talk about the God of Israel and make mockery of his God. You have proven what side you stand on, and I'm showing to you what side I stand on. But I want you to know that Alexis, and I know President Obama, I know you read about Alexis de Tocqueville, and I know you know that we are Hebrews, and I know you've been knowing about it since you've been in the White House. The book of the Apocalypse, the book of the Apocrypha mentions that in there, that the American people know about who we are. It's the book of the Apocrypha, the book of Ezra. When you have a chance, read it. But the Hebrew nation, you have nothing to be afraid of. God will redeem every last one of you. I don't care what you're doing or what you have done. God is going to redeem every last one of you. I don't care if you're a prostitute, you're a crackhead, a dopehead, you don't have no job, no teeth, no hair. I don't care if you're fat, crippled. I'm crippled, blind, whatever. God is going to redeem all of you. You have nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. You may not be even keeping the law. You probably don't even know anything such as a law, because your identity has been hidden from you, and God knows this. And so God is going to redeem all of you, black people. Listen to me. I am Yeshurun. I'm telling you, God is going to redeem all of you. You don't have nothing to fear. Your heads will be lifted high. You in a few days, your head will not be dropped low anymore. God have a great plan for you. I read to you earlier about two worlds. Let me tell you something. The people that are awake, the Hebrews that you are awake right now, you are probably one of the 144,000 that have been sealed. If you are awake and you are keeping the law, you're probably one of the 144,000. I want to tell you something. That you, the 144,000, are going to be on earth with there's a new earth that's coming from heaven. Revelation 21:21. A new heaven. Brother Gray, read that right there. Revelation 21:21. There's going to be a new heaven coming. There's going to be a new Jerusalem coming down from God. It's going to come down from heaven. And then the God is going to change things on earth. There's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. And we're going to be ruling this world. I'm the first one that's going to be changed to immortality. And then the 144,000 are going to be changed. And then anybody else who wants to be changed is going to be open for you.
Revelations 21 and verse number 1 reads
21.
21 and 21 reads, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls, every several gate was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold.
Go up one more. Go up 20. Go up 19. Go up 19, then read down.
The foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardis.
Which one to start with? Number one. Start with, and I, John, saw the New Jerusalem.
That's chapter 21, verse number 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Verse number 3, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And verse number 4, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
People, there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. And there's going to be a change on how things are done in the earth. And God is going to come and set up his earthly kingdom here on earth. And the new beings are going to be walking around. They're going to be looking like aliens because our face is going to be lit up. I'm going to be the first one, and then the 144,000 are going to be after that. Now the Gentiles, you had a chance for your face to get lit up, for you to have eternity, but you refuse to keep God's laws. But you will have a chance. I believe God will give you a chance to prove yourself in the millennial, if you make it to the millennial. But I want to tell you also, the 144,000, you have another world that was made for you. There are two worlds made. God made two worlds. The second world he made is for the 144,000. So after the 1,000 years, you will go to live on another planet beyond this solar system. That's for the 144,000 where you will be. And if you now everyone in the world, because of the Gentiles, did not live by God's law, you around the world, you can come in now. And you can come to the New Jerusalem and you can learn from me. You can learn from the God of Israel and the 144,000. You can learn how to keep God's law, and you too can become immortal. Righteousness is going to spread throughout the world. You too can learn how to become immortal. Because the Gentiles, they refuse to keep the law. So God is going to open up a new thing here. And when the books were open, I already told the Lord, to let's look at something else, Lord, because the Gentiles, they don't love your laws. So you should open it up for everybody around the world. Open it up for the Hindus. Open it up for the Islamic. Open it up for the Buddhists. Open it up for everybody in the world so they can live by your law and they can become immortal. Just like your servant, Uriah, Yeshurun. Everyone can become immortal in the world. And you can have immortality here on the earth. And we can change this whole world. And there will be no more crime, no more death, no more sickness on this earth. And we're going to spread God's immortality around this world. We're going to change this world. We're tired of the devil running everything, the Catholics and the Khazarians. We're going to change this world. All of them who refuse to keep God's law, go into the lake. And I'm going to help them get there. Thank you, brother.